Hi, Hobby. I thought I'd start just a little early because that camera's been spinning around. This guy's making noise. Okay. Oops, that's not what I want to do. I'm gonna quiet down my other stuff here. Okie dokie doke. There we go. That'll keep everything else quieted down. Hi, Dominic and Big Sal and William and Rich and hey, Hater, how you doing? Uh, oh boy, today we're in for a major heat wave. It's going to be in the greater Hartford metropolitan area. It's supposed to go up to 98 degrees, which will be a record for this time of year. And you know, Um, just trying to stay cool. It's early in the morning now, so it's pretty nice. Um, yeah, sunny is it's going to be sunny. Okay. Fortunately, it rained last night and it's still overcast, and so it sort of keeps everything a little cool. Hi, Nobi Sensei, how you doing? Ah, that's right. It's afternoon in Europe. Good morning, Pepsi. Okay. What I wanted to talk about was watches and the the coming recession. I tell you, it seems that there's almost a perfect storm uh, worldwide. It's not just the U.S. And it's hard to blame it on politicians. Okay, I suppose we could blame it on Putin for invading Ukraine, but other than that, I don't think just politicians being politicians, blame them for everything. But what I'd like to look at is sort of what's going to happen. One of the things I noticed that there was a one of the YouTube guys, Federico. He and another guy they work was saying it looks like the prices are coming down or doing something. I don't know what they're going to do. Um, and so anyway, um, there's a there's a whole kind of sort of a something's going to happen. One thing is that if the worst investment you could have made in 1980 was gold. If you invested in gold in 1980 by something like 2000 or something, it was the least growing. And now, since 2000, the price of gold has gone almost up 10 times because of doubts about the economy. And in a way, watches are like gold in this respect. They're a commodity, and as such, their prices raise and fall like any commodity does. And the question I have, and especially for you guys in Zurich and Switzerland, we want to know um, what is what do you think is going to happen? I'm trying to remember back in 2008, 2009, when we had the Great Recession, what happened then. One of the things that bothers me the most, oddly enough, because it doesn't affect me, and it doesn't affect our kids, fortunately, but the raise in rents here in the U.S. Rents just there was this one gal they were talking to in Florida, and the rents went up from like they were paying $1,600 a month, and it went up to 2,500. It's just crazy. And so when that happens, unless your income goes up the same amount, which I doubt, you're going to have less discretionary income. Now, I don't know to what extent. I mean, obviously, it's related to if you're living in an apartment with a family of four or something like that, and suddenly and you have you're on a marginal income. That can be very difficult. And also with a baby formula, it just there are a lot of things that are happening worldwide. um, it's always tempting to blame it on the politicians, but like I said, it doesn't really help too much. And so I'd like to sort of concentrate on what you guys think is going to happen. Um, if you remember what you were doing back in 2008, and in terms of watch buying and selling, uh, pipe in. Property costs for our young professionals is baloney. Okay. All right. That's that's a succinct way of putting it, Lee. Hey, Brendan, Google is down. Won't be surprised if others soon follow. You mean, Brendan? You mean Grubel and Forsay? When you say they're down, or you're down in price, or what? I mean, they were up around 200,000. So, to what extent? John, let's see. I haven't seen any signs of lower prices for FPJ, the Bethune Moser from resellers like Watchbox. I haven't either. I haven't either. I have. I was just looking this morning, and I saw something at auction. Okay, thanks, Brendan. One of the things that I noticed at Chrono 24, have you noticed that um, they have a little sign. Some of them say inquire for price. They don't have the price there, so they put in inquire for price. I'm not sure what they've done in the past, but right now I think what's happening is some guy is figuring, well, I'm going to keep an eye on all of these other prices, and if they go up, I can simply announce a higher price. On the other hand, if you post the price you want for it, then you're sort of stuck with that. So I'm seeing an increase in that, which indicates to me, at least, there's some kind of inflation. At least they're expecting. I see supply up prices around the same. Dominic, does that mean as well as the supply increases? We should see that. Um, I just we just paid. Hey, Flip and Zippo, we just paid a 7% increase because parts went up for in our project, and this is so you've got watchmakers, movement makers, and everybody else. Things go up for different reasons. Fuel prices are extremely high, and they were talking about, like, as we go into the summertime, we got the air conditioner going all the time, but we have solar, and so all of our electricity is generated by that, and so we don't pay anything. These high electric bills. Before, we were paying about $300 a month, and now it's like 30 for the hookup fee, and that's about it. So certain things may come about from this. Some of them may actually be good. I think it's some kind of response to you know fossil fuel dependency. Watch prices are unimportant to compare to babies in war. Yeah, they are, Lee. I agree. I'm not even suggesting otherwise. But since we're watch collectors, watches are important to us too. I don't know about babies though. the, the war. So many countries have been on a war economy. They spend so much on their military that they finally get to use it, and it's never very pretty. Uh, let's see. So, okay, I don't know. Like I say, I really wanted to get some feedback from you. I've had one course in economics, and that was one that was offered by MIT, and it was um, it was sort of on world economics and different kinds of things like that. And I now know why they call economics a dismal science. they got, yeah, they get their. It's an interesting thing, but man, I tell you, trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen. We fight the watch for. There you go, Dominic. Yeah, we're warriors. we, we fight off. We have to fight off a lot of things. There was an old story about a person going into, their fate has sort of changed their economic state, and as their economics go down, they have to give up one thing after another. And the punchline, I guess, is that the very last thing they're living in a refrigerator box on the street, and yet they don't want to give up their club. And I think watch collectors may be the same way. I paid 150. Oh God, yeah, for 24 gallons of non-ethanol fuel in the boat. Man, whew, yeah, that's expensive. You know, it keeps coming around these. We get these notices is that now we don't have to wear masks, we don't have to do this, and the next thing you know, there's this uptick and some kind of variant of COVID. And so, I haven't been leaving the house too much, except go for a walk and things like that out in the open air. You know, I don't know. Nobody. What are my thoughts on the root beer, 1991? I like the root beer. What more can you say? I don't know what the price of those things are. I mean, keeping up with the prices of, I don't keep up with the prices of Bitcoins nor Rolexes. They seem to be everywhere. Um, I was looking up the price of my FP Jorn, and it's just stupid. It's all I can say. I think they're up to around. I think the cheapest one I found in platinum was something like $80,000. I I paid less than half of that for my car. So okay, cream soda is the winner. I like them both. Um, Here, I think the reason I'm bringing this up is that since I got I got hit with one, I was offered one price for something that is in the works, and they apologized and said we have to add, all of our parts and everything went up 7%. And so it's not a matter of just some AD deciding to gouge as much as he can, but rather something that is people who would like to get the same price so that they could sell it for the same price. What's going on? Oh Jesus, Lee, Jesus Christ. Okay, I see you guys have thought about this a lot. I think if you bought a good watch at MSRP or less, you're fine. But if you got gouged on a hype watch, you're screwed. That's always true, Clyde. Always true, and it's a good point too. I think I don't know. I think if the amount of attention, I think the only attention that I think should be paid, or I pay, is what you can afford, first of all, and then looking for something really decent in terms of horology, what to have. I've got on a new thing. There's a new type of watch I decided worth hunting for, and I'm going to be doing that. And that I think would be a good, a good time to start doing that is seeing if there are any left. I went out and got some Daniel Roth. They shot up in price. Same with Roger Dubuis. But there's some other ones out there that are really good watches. And if you look at the horology rather than, well, I mean, the price, of course, within your price range, you can find some really neat things. Recently, I did a video on Vincent Calabrese watches. And, those, you can find some, here you have AHCI watches. I think that might be a way to, start taking a look at right now, especially some of these guys who have some very nice watches that are overlooked. Antoine Prezizio, I think, is one guy that he's sort of like this. He's got these tourbillons that he makes, bespoke, and then he's got these other ones down here. And some of these guys I think are worth looking into. Very hard to get a good high-end watches at MSRP here in Singapore unless you are a VIP customer. John, that is something that is generally true. This is why whenever I go watch shopping, I always wear my best watch, and they'll have delude the salesperson in that, hey, I better give this guy a break. He must have a lot of watch money, which of course isn't true, but they don't know that. Frank Mueller watches. Um, I think there are a number of Frank Mueller watches I really like the looks of, and they are, but I don't know too much about the movements. I think a lot of the movements are inexpensive movements. I'm not going to say they're bad movements. They're just relatively inexpensive. Hi, Brand Headlights. How you doing, Laurent Ferrier? Yeah, Laurent Ferrier. You know, I said this before. They're one of my favorite designs, but they tend to be a little lighter than the heft I like in a watch. But they're made that way. I mean, they're made to be light. There's a lot of titanium used and things like that. That is, I think, about 30% lighter than stainless steel. But Laurent Ferrier, you know, um, no, yeah, Crazy Hours looks fun. That's true. Hey, Nobi Sensei, is it's impossible in Switzerland to get Rolex at retail, even though you're an hour or so from the factory. Yeah, yeah, but I think um I think really to me anyway, to the way I understand Rolex isn't as a popular watch or as a Bitcoin type of watch. You buy them and sell them and so forth, but rather they have certain things about them I like. Okay. And oftentimes when I'm looking at a watch, I'll look at a watch and then I'll look at a Rolex and and then I look at the other watch, even at the same price, I'll say, well, this one's got more to offer, I think. Let me give you an example. That Easy Diver is sort of a crazy name for a watch, but man, that Easy Diver by Roger Dubuis with a RD14 Roger Dubuis movement is just a fantastic watch. There's another one that I got that's very similar to it, but it's one I think it was earlier named. It was a Sympathy that looks more like an Excalibur, and but then some great prices. But then they went up too, not to Rolex prices, but and this is not saying anything bad about Rolex because there's, like I said, there are a lot of things about them I like. It's just that I find something I like better, and because of that, I don't worry about all of these craziness with the prices and other things. I actually do that with all my watches. Hey Thomas, how you doing? Brendan, let's see. My friend got a two-tone Explorer at retail quickly with no purchase history. It just depends on what you're looking for. Yeah, Brendan, that's a good point. I think the one I like, the one I would actually think of really buying is an Air King. And but the if I bought an Air King, I had to put up with certain people of that tribe sticking up their nose at it. Well, you only got an Air King. You should have got a sub or something. It's just nonsense, really. I I have a brand that I'm looking for now, though. I finally decided on something that's worth looking for. And while this project that I've been working on, I've been working on for over a year now. Um, is we still have a little time left. In fact, we got a few months time, but I've been busy getting it ready for. We're going to be releasing the information on it pretty quickly because it's entered into the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève. And man, I tell you, I think we got this watch at the right time. Hi, Watch Nicholas. Not been able to catch up with these for a while. Hi, BS. Moi. Hey, Lee, can you buy a new Air King? I don't know. I don't think you can buy any new Rolex. We have a Rolex dealer here in town. One. They used to have other things too, but they used to have Patek Philippe. But it's one of those. It's sort of like a little chain. I think there are three branches of this jewelry store. One here in Hartford or in West Hartford. One in Boston, and one in somewhere else. So they're not, a lot of them. If I were in New York, I might be able to find one. I'd adopt a wait and see attitude. When I see resellers talking about the watch apocalypse, I wonder if they're doing it just to beat down the prices they offer to sellers. They may be. Again, this is sort of. This is why I wanted to talk about this with you guys. I don't know. I mean, it's like I just don't know what's going to happen. Looking forward to it. I hope to be able to go to Switzerland. I've been around every place around Switzerland, Austria, France, Germany, every place, Italy, every place that borders Switzerland. But I never went to Switzerland, so I want to do that. Hey, Joel, how you doing? I was thinking this week about Dufour auction for the new Simplicity that he's making. Have you heard any rumors about? Now, this is what I heard about that new Simplicity, Joe, is that he's making X number. I forgot what it was, and each country gets one on a lottery. And if you win the lottery, you can buy one. And a friend of mine who knows these things better than I do said that, yeah, you could for $600,000. And, if you have $600,000, you can hang on to that thing, be, easily worth $1 million not too long out. I don't know. I think if I ever meet DeFore, I'm going to flirt with his daughters and have them see if I can get on their good side. Say, hey, how would you like to get involved in this? You like the new Air King. Good for you, Watch Nicholas. So do I. I think they fixed up the case somewhat, but I really like the dial. There's one. Yeah. See, for here you have a watch, the Air King. I think right before the pandemic, I think they were around $4,000 or $5,000, and now they're up to $7,000. That's retail. And now nobody says that the guy wants to offer one for $20,000. Yeah. Don't trust the car or watch salesman. Yeah, I know, Brendan. That's true. Usually, it's the other way around. Luxury watch prices. AP Richard Mille PP may shoot up once, big markets in Hong Kong and China eventually reopen. That's true. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point, John. Right now, this blasted pandemic doesn't seem to be going away. Like I said, in our town, they had a big boom in it, and I don't know. Then okay, you don't have to worry about COVID. We got monkeypox now. I don't I don't want monkeypox either. Lingering effects. Yeah. Okay. Does anybody remember back in 2008 when we had the Great Recession? What happened to watch prices? I don't remember. Um, I wasn't paying as much attention to watches back then. Um, and so I don't remember exactly what the whole market was like. Yeah, Nobia, that is a cool watch. The low point is about a year down the road. Dominic, do you mean a low point in terms of prices or watch prices, or do you mean in terms of the effect of inflation or what? Hi, DGB. Yeah, 2008 was catastrophic. That's why they call it the Great Recession. This was, man, I like I said, I really feel very bad about a lot of these things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The flu and COVID. Actually, you know what? The flu was way down last year, perhaps at a record low, at least in the U.S., because that was when there were all of these mask mandates, and so people weren't spreading the flu like we usually do. See, I had a conversation with Andy Hunter about the '08 recession a couple of years before he passed. What did he say, Clyde? The prices collapsed, did they? Okay, so we may see prices collapse. I finished college in 2009. I went to buy an Omega and it was soft. Rolex was very available too, cheap. It um, wasn't too long ago. I was talking to a guy in our Rolex store about a Yachtmaster 2. And back then, I think they were about 18,000 new, and he was really wanted to sell that because they're not very popular Rolex watches. And you know, like it would have been I guess now it would have been seen as a good price because I've seen them shoot up too. Paddock 5711 was 10,000. That is good. Gray market prices. Yeah, I think Brendan, and I think one of the things is that when the interest rates go up, and again, there's so many more renters now, and then the rents go up, you lose a lot of discretionary income that you may be buying watches with, and I think that will also push it down. And it just it's hard to guess. It really is. Memo. See, there wasn't a gray market hype as said. Auction prices were soft though. I don't remember. I just don't. Oh no, I didn't know that, Thomas. They're having an international festival of time. That's cool in Ireland. Rolex Submariner was 2K. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things. I think at some point, I if for one reason or another, sort of style changes, like people say, "Well, I don't want a Rolex anymore. I want to get an Omega, or I want to get this, that, or the other thing." You'll see prices fall like mad. one company that was really popular and then it became unpopular was it was a clothing line that a lot of kids liked. When I say kids, I'm thinking of college kids. And there used to be like a sporting goods store that you'd go and get your stuff and take off to a safari in Africa or something. But then they became sort of a popular. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, that'll tell you something. Uh, thanks, Untimely. Yeah, Big Sal. For under 10K, that is good. Momentary dip in Rolex's watch prices that lasted a few months and recovered. Other models and brands took a year or two to recover. Um, no, it wasn't Old Navy, it wasn't Banana. Ah, Abercrombie and Fitz. That's it. See, that's it. That was the one I was trying to remember. I didn't Teddy Roosevelt shop there. It used to be a really exclusive shop in New York, and years ago, before it became a chain, I was there, and it had some really cool stuff. And then it became cool, and then it wasn't cool. Another one called True Religion was cool, then it wasn't cool. Me, Old Navy, but only if it's on sale. Uh, okay, I see that I am now out of time. Um, there's some other things. I'm going to try to. There's a documentary on A&F. I had to stop watching too much navel gazing. Okay. Oh, on Avocado and Fit. Hey, Koji. Yeah, I know. It's time to go. All right, guys. Well, listen, if you're going to be around this afternoon, what I want to do, I'm going to try to gather up some economic facts between now and 4 o'clock and see if we can make any more sense of that. And thanks for the fried egg reminders. And see you later. Hope to see you this afternoon if you're around.